Hello everyone, my name is Zendi, and welcome to episode 15 of Hardcore Minecraft. And behind me there's a whole bunch of pillagers. That is way more than usual. Usually I get like the 4. I wonder where they're going. Well, anyway, that's terrifying. I mean, at least they're spawning over there. I mean, it's probably gonna be pain when I actually start working on that area and get like jump scared by pillagers. But like, jeez. I feel like they need to change the way the pillagers spawn. Cause it's like every, I don't know, 3 days the pillagers spawn. I don't know. I just feel like it's a bit too much, and I don't even know where they went. They just like went up in the mountain, the hills. But anyway, it's episode 15. And we're gonna do the same thing we did yesterday, which is continue flooding in the area. We're also gonna need to go chop more trees down as well. Also need to light up the rest of the areas. Definitely don't want to get ambushed by pillagers on this side. Well, don't want to get ambushed by pillagers regardless, actually. Actually, let me quickly just look at... Okay, let's see. So we're actually in between 2 different biomes right now. Well, semi. We're more into... Wait, no, actually. Yeah, we're more into one biome than we are another. It's the taiga and the old growth spruce taiga, which, doesn't actually make any difference. Well, I guess besides the tall trees, at least on this side. And then over there is old growth pine taiga, which I don't really get the difference between the old growth spruce taiga and the old growth uh pine taiga. But yeah. And actually I realized that village, well, there is another village that's actually in the snow biome, snowy plains, and I think we saw earlier on. Or maybe we didn't, I'm not too sure. But we only have like that village near us. The village over there, the closest to our location. I'm just like quickly checking what's around. I mean, we could. No, because then there's a Pell card, and I mean, maybe. There's space next to us, not towards spawn, but continue that way. There's like a large plains large space for the planes. There's also hmm, a big swamp. It's across the water though, but I think I may have the Ocean Empire be near there. Um, Ow, that hurt. Down that way. This river, I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, this river does go into that ocean, which is where across from where the swamp is. Hmm. Seems like the villages are actually quite spread out. But anyway, we actually have quite a lot of trial chambers all around us. Well, a whole bunch of them. Not really that close, but they are close enough, I guess. Well, not really that close, but it's not like we have to travel very far to get to them. Well, I mean, we are on foot, so it would take a bit of time, but it's not like traveling millions upon millions of blocks. Even though I kind of wish they weren't trial chambers, mainly because, we don't really need a whole lot of trial chambers. But oh well. One of these days I'll try and remember and show you guys the uh the seed map, just so you guys know what I'm looking at, and like I guess sort of like a spoiler of like what is around us. Not that it really matters, I guess, because um it's not like we're gonna be going to every village, every child chamber, or deep dark ancient city. Even though I didn't really see, I only saw one, I think, ancient city, but it's kind of hard. There's a lot of biomes around us that are just mixed together. It's just like very small. There was also a pale garden, but it was very small as well. But it's gonna be quite an issue, well, not a huge issue. Because to be fair, I don't want every empire to be super close to each other. But also, I don't want to have to travel millions upon millions of blocks. Especially for like future updates. If I survive, long enough for there to be other updates for this world. Or, well, for Minecraft. But, like, you know. Because you need to go into new chunks, especially with the sulfur update, or whatever it's called. Except I'm still not too sure about that. Because I don't want to make another empire just for the sulfur caves. I mean, I already have, like, what, 3 underground empires we're gonna build? I'd rather not make a 4th one, mainly just because there really isn't that much, at least from reviewing all that we know about the sulfur caves. Like, it's really not that much. Not really worth building an empire. Because, I mean, for the ancient city, it has, or for the Deep Dark Empire, it has the ancient city, you know? It's deep in to the ground, deep slate level. It actually would make sense. And so for the Copper Empire, it would be the trial chambers, you know? Like actually incorporating structures and biomes. Since we're not going to be making a biome for each empire because there are, just like with the taiga, there's, yes, different biomes, but they're technically still the same, you know? I think the sulfur caves are just gonna be like the lush caves, which I really like the lush caves, and that's why we're gonna build like, I want to say lush cave biome, but it's more just, or not biome, empire, and there's pillagers right there. We just had pillagers spawn today. What the heck, game? I swear the game really wants this world to end. Like, what the heck? Looks like it's less pillagers though, but like, really, game? I'm already trying my best to not die, and you're just pushing it to the limits. But anyway, you know, having a lush cave empire. And also because the lore, there's like a secret end portal for like the Guardians. We'll go into that lore later on, but I know I mentioned it before. But that's like another key point of that empire, of the Lush Cave Empire, is because that's kind of like a safe haven, a meeting place of sorts, or I guess secret society, more so just more, yeah, so to speak. But so yeah, that I don't really think, just in general from what I've seen of the sulfur caves, I really don't think I'm gonna do all that. Make another empire just for the sulfur caves. I mean, I could make a village underground that maybe has lore to the Copper Empire, since it has geysers. I think it would make a bit more sense to utilize that for the Copper Empire. At uh at the most sense, you know. Instead of just not doing anything with the sulfur blocks or anything like that. We could actually incorporate them when building the Copper Empire. So maybe we could actually have just like a little village. Not like a kingdom or an empire, but maybe just like a little village of sorts, an outpost, something like that. But we'll have to see when that update comes out. Or, yeah. You know, I actually thought that it was going to come out with the animals, the baby animals, but turns out I was actually wrong about that. Which I guess kind of makes sense that it wouldn't actually go together. You have, mate, you have. I'm gonna have to go to that village, aren't I? And just break the compost. Okay, I'll go do that. Well, not right now. That's annoying. But anyway, yeah. I guess the sulfur caves will just be useful for the Copper Empire. Not really worth building another empire. Just for the sulfur caves. But anyway, that's like my thought process of the whole thing, I guess. And also because, like, the block palette, like, it's not like how with the lush caves, you know, you could actually have a civilization, you know, underground. Because you have, like, the azaleas that when you bone meal them, you get a tree, an azalea tree. Which I kind of wish they, like, made it where it was azalea wood, not oak wood, but oh well. But yeah. It's like actually more worth building a lush cave biome than a uh sulfur biome. I mean, unless they add more stuff that we don't know about, but I just really think that I'm not gonna build an empire. And also because I don't really like the yellow and the red. I mean, they're good blocks, just for some reason together it looks like mustard and ketchup. I think there's probably people out there that have said that too. I imagine because that's the exact colors that they look like. And I mean, I'm glad we finally have another red block. Uh, besides, you know, concrete and the mangrove. But like, I don't know. I just The color palette, just by itself, using just those blocks, I don't know, I just can't. It's another reason why I'm not building an empire or a kingdom. It's because of the block palette. I will, uh, I will compromise on making like an outpost village of some sorts, but making an empire or even a kingdom, definitely not happening with those block palettes. And also, I would have to try and figure out like the lore and everything. Like, yeah, there's steam geysers or geysers. I don't know if I forgot if uh no, because isn't it just like sulfur geysers or something? I don't know. That's just my only complaint with the sulfur caves is the color palette. I actually wonder what other YouTubers are gonna do. Like those that like make 100-day videos surviving in certain biomes and whatnot. I really wonder how creative, how much their creativity they're gonna have to put into it to like surviving in that biome and surviving with like that block palette. I'm very interested to see. But I just know for me, I'm out of it. Staying completely out of it. Cause it's McDonald's. I'm just gonna say it's McDonald's. It's ketchup and mustard, it's basically McDonald's. I mean, hey, people can actually make McDonald's now in Minecraft besides using concrete. Even though actually I liked how people did the McDonald's Minecraft builds with the concrete. But yeah. I can't even think what I would actually use the blocks with. At least the yellow block. I mean, with the red one, I think for like other buildings. But like with the yellow one, I can't like think for the life of me. Trying to figure out what builds I would actually use it for. That's like the hard part, and that's also the thing why I'm not really I'm like skeptical about the update. I think they could have done more with the update. Maybe they could have added fossils. I mean, yeah, we had the trial chamber update that allowed us to get the shards. And then of course there's the templates, making that brush and like sifting for suspicious sand and gravel. Which honestly, I think a lot of people thought there was actually going to be fossils for that update. But unfortunately, we did not get fossils. I mean, we got shards for making decorative pots and whatnot, but unfortunately, no fossils. Which is kind of sad. Well, unless you count the sniffer. because you can dig up a sniffer egg. So technically, the sniffer is a fossilized egg that you can place on the ground, and eventually it'll grow. It'll hatch into a sniffer. But yeah. I mean, to be fair, when I thought of the sulfur update, or sulfur caves update, or whatever it's called, I thought explosives. I mean, yeah, we have TNT. What other type of explosive do we need in Minecraft? But like, you know, you could substitute. Except Minecraft doesn't actually substitute things. You kind of have to actually have those specific materials. But I mean, it would have been cool. Like an actual sulfur material, just like the gunpowder. Maybe you could do like a TNT, but like a sulfur TNT where it's much more explosive radius, perhaps? Or maybe even arrows that explode when they land. I don't know. I just feel like there was so much potential that they could have done. I mean, heck, I'm still waiting for the end update. That will most likely never happen. I think that's what a lot of us are waiting for is an end update. It's still kind of really sad that we still haven't gotten one. Because, I mean, all I would want is just, like a biome or two in the end. Like, I guess not like the better Minecraft mod where the end is actually more, um, has more biomes and everything. I kind of like it to be half of that. So there's like maybe one or two biomes. Uh, and of course, with the main biome, so that'll be three biomes in the end. Just two new ones. And like, maybe. Because we have the Ender Dragon, we have the Enderman. Even though the Enderman can also be in the end, or not end, the Nether as well. Even though they originate from the end. We have the Endermites, as well as the Shulkers. Maybe one or two animals? Maybe like a passive animal? Or mob? Not really animal, but like a mob? Maybe something like the piglins. Except I don't know what you would barter in the end. I guess oh, I forgot what they're called. The chorus fruit? And like ender pearls you could like trade? That would be cool, you know? And of course, like add more blocks. Well, add more blocks to the corresponding biomes that you could get the blocks from. Just like little things like that for the end. If they ever do an end update. Because I like how it's desolate, but I feel like it's too desolate. It's too plain. It needs something interesting other than the loot that you can get. Like something that actually makes people want to like stay in the end more, you know? I don't know, that's just me though. That's what I would want. Just like half of the better end in better Minecraft. Just like half of the stuff. But unfortunately, I doubt we'll ever actually get an end update. Unless like a million years from now. But yeah. I mean, it is cool to see what people actually do to the end. Like they transform the end and everything. I know there's this one YouTuber who like made it into like a solar system, like space. There's one that transformed the end into like the overworld. Like it is cool to see what people actually do and transform the end into, but also it's just like kind of sad because the end is just very plain and very desolate, and it's just like sad seeing a place where you have to fight one of the bosses, end game bosses. Well, I guess late game, because it's not really the end of Minecraft. But I mean, the Ender Dragon was the first boss. Yet, the biome it lives in, or the dimension it lives in, is just, I guess, depressing. It's just like quite sad, you know? That's why I think if they just add like a biome or two, maybe armor better than the netherite. Because the thing is that the Ender Dragon was the first boss, you know? Before the Wither, um, before the Elder Guardians, before the Warden. So, like, you would think, that, um, you know, they would actually have done something with the end instead of make it like, or keep it how it is now. Uh, yeah. It's just, it's sad. How, like, the end is just, like, being forgotten. Well, not forgotten for us, but, like, when it comes to Minecraft making updates, it's like the end is just like not there in their minds. It like no longer exists to them. when making updates and making future updates and whatnot. I mean, hey, if I, was working on the updates and making Minecraft or working on Minecraft, I would make an end update. I would make an end update before the Nether update. But unfortunately, I don't work for Minecraft, nor, uh, yeah, nor would that ever be a possibility. But I do pray, even though it's been how many years since Minecraft came out, I do still have a bit of hope that we will eventually get an end update. Because now I have to try and figure out what blocks I'm gonna use to build an empire in the end. I mean, hey, if I was playing modded Minecraft, yes, I would have been able to, like, actually, make the end look really cool and everything. But unfortunately, I'm playing vanilla Minecraft. So no mods. None at all. So I'm stuck with the vanilla Minecraft blocks. Unfortunately. Honestly, I think the end will be the hardest to do when it comes to, like, actually making an empire or building the empire. I think that will be the hardest one to do. Out of all the different biomes we will be turning into empires, I think that one will be the most hardest. Besides the Nether, I think the end will be the hardest with building because, you know, there's like what, two different blocks? Only two different blocks. The purple, not, it's not purple, it's like purple, or however you say it, blocks. And then there's the end stone blocks. So that's only like two blocks. So I think that's the most challenging. And then for the Nether, which I still have to figure out how I'm gonna do the Nether one, but the Nether one's gonna be the most challenging because of the mobs. It's just gonna be the most challenging. I think I will save the Nether and end one for the very last. The end one just because I will have to, like, actually brainstorm, come up with and think of what to do for the end. And then for the Nether, because of how dangerous the Nether is. I'll want to be in, like, full netherite enchanted armor. With, like, golden apples and everything. To make sure I don't die. Due to the mobs. So I think I'll have those two be last. I think the Warden, I'll also want to be netherite armor. Well, because I have to deal with the Warden. Because first, we have to find a good ancient city. That's like a big ancient city. And we'll have to clear it. So we'll have to get rid of the sensors while possibly waking up the Warden multiple times, as well as getting rid of the shulker blocks, or not shulker, skulk blocks. That's what they're called. So I think that would be one that we do also towards the end. Well, of the list. Not towards the end of like this world. Because I do hope this world will be here for a long time. That's what I have planned anyway. But in order to do that, I have to, of course, survive. So that's something we gotta figure out as well. I think having a whole bunch of wool will be good as well. It's just, of course, dealing with the skulk sensors, shriekers, will be the most challenging because that will immediately trigger the warden. Well, after like 3 attempts, like you have 3 chances before the warden wakes up. But like, you know, we trigger the warden, we have to go run away, wait for the warden to disappear, or we'll go back to sleep, go back in the ground. And then we have to go through all that process again. So that one would also take the longest. I think all 3 of them will take a very, very long time. The ocean part, because it's underwater, well, even depending on how I decide to go about it, we will still have to deal with the water, regardless of if we decide to drain the water or not. We will still have to deal with the water regardless. But yeah. That one will also be another, I want to say, time consuming one, just because of the water, so it'll take quite a long time. But it isn't the most difficult. Well, technically won't be as difficult. It'll still be difficult, but just less difficult than like the end with the building, the nether with the mobs, uh, the ancient city with the warden, you know. Even though I do plan on, building using the What is it called? Hold on. I need to check now. Isn't it just like Guardian Temple? Ocean Monument, that's what it's called. Why did I think it was called Guardian Temple? I have no idea why I thought that. It's weird. Ocean Monument, though, that's what it's called. I guess because it's Guardians, and it's, I guess, kind of temple-like shape. So I guess that's why I thought it was that. But no, it's an Ocean Monument. Ocean Monument. But so that one will incorporate an Ocean Monument into the Empire when we build it. So that also is the reason why there will be a challenge as well. Is because of the Ocean Monument. And also because it's underwater. Gonna have to deal with that. I mean, I have a lot of dirt, so I can just fill it up with dirt. I have to mine copper and iron. I have to try and remember that. Could mine it right now, but I'm not gonna. Probably should, because I'm probably gonna just forget until like a few episodes from now when I go to like fill it in. Maybe I will mine out the ores for right now. Just get it done and over with. So that way I don't have to worry about it when I go to fill that in. Which technically I can just fill it in this episode. You know, not worry about it. Just get it done and over with. Which is probably what I'm gonna do in a sec. Even though I would like the andesite and diorite though. Maybe I won't fill it in yet. I'll probably mine the diorite and andesite. Most definitely will. Because we're gonna need the blocks in the future anyway, so getting a stockpile will be a good thing. But that will be later on. Not in this episode. Should probably see if the villager actually restocked their trade. I'm gonna guess not, because it's not the right composter. But I will still check. As well as harvest the crops. Let's harvest the crops first, and then we'll go check on the villager. Shoot, why did I even have the charcoal? I'm guessing it was for torches. Hmm. And why did I put deep slate in here? I just wasted a stack of deep slate. I tend to forget you don't actually need to smelt deep slate. You could just use the regular deep slate, the mine deep slate. I tend to forget, so I think that's why I did that, because I forgot yet again. Got quite a whole bunch of seeds. Let's get the weeds. And then the rest of these seeds can be composted. And actually, let's just quickly go check and see if the farmer villager has restocked or not. Even though the sun is going down, so I gotta be quick. Okay, no, you have not. Okay. So I do indeed have to go over to the village, which I will do. That'll be the last thing we do before I end the episode. Boats. Use the boats. I'm gonna feel bad for the other villagers at the village. But I'll eventually bring them over to the Empire. It's just right now, I have quite a lot of things I need to do. Okay, that was yours. Which I'm sorry about. I have no other choice. Don't know where the animals went out of this. I don't think there's one over there. Ow. And there's one right here. Okay. I guess I'll keep them. Oh, there's also one over here as well. Guess I'll bring them back. Where is my boat? There's my boat. Okay. But yeah, I'll just take them. I feel bad for the other villagers, but they're like stuck. I should free them, but I'd rather keep them there just so they're safe. Or, well, as safe as they can be. Okay. No, you don't want to. I mean, I gave you composter. Here, maybe let me break the composter over here. I hope it's not like a glitch or something. Oh. I'm just gonna have to break that. Unfortunately. And then place composter over here. Or a composter since we have 6. Okay, place that. You're just not. I'm sure if you sleep, we'll have to see in the next episode. It's a bit worrying. Anyway, that will be it for episode 15 of Hardcore Minecraft. So I hope you guys have a good day or night, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.